We all have a gift. And there's a tragedy that happens if we don't open that gift. What's the point of having it if you don't use it? I'm a musical person, but didn't always use my music. I shouldn't call it my music. But I didn't ever want to play in church. I wanted to play in a smoke-filled bar playing blues music. That's what I wanted to do. To me, that's what, that was my idea of music. And I think it was Jamie that kind of prompted me to get involved in the music. Now, I want us to look back at the Matthew section, and we'll see that there was 5 bags given to one, and I think it was 2 bags given to another, and 1 bag of silver given to another. I'm sure that could have been enough reason for each one to kind of get angry with each other, or jealous, oh man, why'd you get 5? I only got 1. But it says that they were given these gifts proportionate to their abilities. So it doesn't matter if the guy who got 5 is like this super stock market, New York Stock Exchange kind of guy, Wall Street that can double the money like that, or if it's someone who's a little slower and can double his money like that, or if he's even a little slower and he doubles it, well, the last guy didn't. But maybe I shouldn't make this guarantee, but I would be willing to bet that the expectations for the guy who got the 1 bag of silver was expected to at least walk away with 2 bags of silver. If he walked away with 3, if he walked away with 4, that's great. But he was expected to do something with that bag of silver. He wasn't to go and bury it because he was scared. He didn't use his gift because he was scared. So the amounts don't even matter. But what matters is what they did with their gift. It's what we do with our gifts. And we all have gifts. And as the Romans passage says, we have at least one thing that God has given us to do. When we use our gifts and we're living in holy sacrifices, we're going to look different than everyone else. When we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to look different, feel different, because we're acting different, and we're acting different because we're thinking different. As one who owns Apple products, it was kind of sad to hear Steve Jobs pass away this week, but that's life, I guess. But what would the world look like if Steve Jobs wouldn't have thought so differently? If he would have just thought like everybody else? Or if he hadn't even used his gift? Most of us here probably have iPods, maybe an iPhone, maybe a MacBook, maybe an iMac. Even if you're a PC user, I guess. No. You probably still use iTunes. Steve Jobs is compared to Thomas Edison. Now, mind you, Jobs is, referred to as a much better businessman, but that's pretty good, that's pretty good company to be in. But, we can live without all that stuff. We can live without iPods, I think, and we can live without iPhones, I think. But I'd like to think I can. Maybe not. But don't touch it. I will slap you. But what would the world look like if people like Steve Jobs wouldn't have used his gift? It's just something to think about. Now, if we turn back to the Romans passage and go back to verse 6, I'm going to read the rest down to the end of verse 8, but I'm going to insert a few words here and there, hopefully to help drive home the point. In His grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, get out of the boat, speak out with as much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, get out of the boat and serve them well. If you are a teacher, get out of the boat and teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, get out of the boat and be encouraging. If it is giving, get out of the boat and give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, get out of the boat and lead. And you'll probably lead other people that are in the boat with you. Take that responsibility seriously. And if you have a gift for showing kindness to others, get out of the boat and do it gladly. How you use your gift matters. And here's the tragedy. We want Jesus to tell us you're being thrown into outer darkness where there will be gnashing of teeth, or do we want us to be told, well done, good and faithful servant? I'm guessing this second part. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't want to speak for you, but I just want to wrap this up, and while I'm doing this, I'll ask the band to make their way up. So this week in our groups, we're going to be talking about the tragedy of the unopened gift. That's what, I did my best to condense it, which was really hard. I like to talk, and I like to read, and I like to study. So I tried not to go into too much detail because I want to leave things open for us to talk about in our groups this week. So I want to leave you with this. President Obama, in reaction to the death of Apple CEO Steve Jobs, was quoted saying, and you really need to listen to this, this is really good. He was bold enough to believe he could change the world and talented enough to do it. I'm here to tell you, we're all talented enough to change the world, but are we bold enough? Your car was meant to be driven, so get behind the wheel and start driving. Nick has a nice Camaro. I never see it on the road. Your car is meant to be driven, so get behind the wheel and start driving. Your gift is meant to be used. And you were meant to do that certain thing well. You weren't necessarily meant to just do that certain thing. You were meant to do that certain thing well. So go and do it.